Are you going to do the intro?
Okay. Welcome to another edition of Sounding Board. You're joining us again in Ferry Meadows in Peterborough for another outdoor edition. It's a normal Wednesday night one, but we thought as the weather was so good,
Look at it.
we'd come outside and it's still about 25, 26 degrees, I think.
Oh, right now it is, yeah, and it's nearly 8 o'clock in
Yeah.
the evening. This is summer now, isn't it?
This is better weather than you would expect in July, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're making the most of it.
We've got to be outside at times like this. Well, I know we always used to threaten it before when we were back at my place. But then going in the garden and stuff, don't want to be too noisy with the neighbours and things. This is just lovely. And there's still a lot of people out, there's people passing, but it's just nice.
Yeah, it's fine. So I had a question for you. I mean, it's not one that you're going to probably be able to answer.
Yeah. Is that going to land on me this time?
Ignore the hornet, the murder hornet. So I was just thinking the other day how the left and the right have changed over the years, and I was concentrating a bit more on the left, and I was trying to pinpoint when the kind of the work shy overtook, because back in the day, lefties would still they'd be very
all about the workers.
They'd be very collectivist, but it would all be about the workers. They'd all be hard working. Whereas nowadays, there's like I can understand lazy people being attracted to socialism, but it seems that they've not just been attracted to it; they've almost taken over.
I'm going to challenge you straight away on your characterisation and say I'm not sure they were ever hard working. For one thing, I think that the left in the past has largely been a metropolitan elite that a middle class and above that have wanted things for the workers for their own good, and certainly they particularly weren't. This elite I'm talking about, I don't think were particularly hard working. They were the intellectuals, and so I think they were trying to get stuff for the workers. I suppose you could say that the workers themselves were probably hard working, but again, as soon as you start talking about unionisation, collectivisation, stuff like that, then it's all designed to not work as hard, isn't it?
It is, but don't you think the people who, like the workers,
I suppose those workers,
traditional Labour voters of 40, 50 years ago, are not traditional Labour voters. I'm talking about the UK here, so I can't really speak for the US, but traditional Labour voters from 30 or 40 years ago,
the people that were
like
sucked in to those policies as advocated by those elites, then yes, actually, you're talking about miners and people doing
blue collar workers, I guess you'd call them in America.
And that's why it was called the Labour Party. This was about labour. Of course.
And Marx was all about the workers and about them earning the means of production, all that rubbish. But it was still all still about working and working hard.
Yeah.
Socialism wasn't about doing nothing, quite like it is now.
Well, and socialism actually used to be in that vein more about a rebalancing, more about gaining equality for the workers, didn't it? But not in the terms. You say equality now, and it's almost tainted, isn't it? It's not about. Then it was about equal rights. Now it's about going further than equal, to redress some kind of balance.
Yeah, and I think part of it is because capitalism has been so unbelievably successful, even in a really restricted market.
Anywhere it's been tried to any extent.
Yeah, but just it's been so unbelievably successful, particularly in Britain, that people are so. For one, everybody is richer.
Yes.
But because of the nature of capitalism, and you work hard, you have a brilliant idea, people buy from you, you're likely to get richer faster than anybody else, which, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't matter at all, as long as you're not. You're not coercing people.
Did you exploit someone?
Yeah, free
exactly.
will. Yeah. So you're going to get billionaires and multi-billionaires, which we have now, which we didn't really have in the past. Even like millionaires 30 or 40 years ago were nowhere near as many as there are now. Now we've got kind of so many billionaires who are kind of out in the open.
The rich are richer, but the poor are richer.
Yeah, everybody's richer. But now a lot of it, the attitude appears to me, and this is
I think I know where you're going with this.
The attitude appears to be there's already enough of everything.
That we can stop.
We can just stop what we're doing and just take from those who've got too much, and then we'll still all be fine.
That we don't need to create any more wealth.
Yes.
Is that what you're getting at?
Yep.
So wealth creation
and
can end.
And just stuff in general. You know,
Do you really think it goes that far? I get the concept of it with money, even though again it's obviously fundamentally flawed.
Well, okay, so
dividing up Jeff Bezos' billions amongst the US population.
Yeah, I'm going to pull you up a little bit on that, because you don't actually need to increase the money supply. Money can be static. We're talking about wealth.
Yes.
Not money.
Yes, but we're talking about distributing someone's wealth as money.
Yeah.
That's why I used that phrase. And so the idea of just dividing up the rich people's money and giving it to everyone else. That's obviously a one-time deal, isn't it? I mean, I suppose it does. Obviously, that disincentivizes the person to be a billionaire or to create wealth. So, if they're just going to have everything taken from them, then are they going to do it again?
Well, you and I know that, but I think they think that there's enough wealth to go around. There's also a lot of, we don't need to. Well, it's not everything. Obviously, there are perishable goods, there's food and stuff, but things like roads, houses, all that kind of stuff. We don't need to build any more houses. We've got enough. We just need to take off people's second and third homes off them and give them to other people. We need to stop people being landlords and just give those houses to the other people. So there's a lot of that going around.
I think you'll find the term is owner, not landlord.
I'm a landlord.
You've not seen the UN.
I saw a whole bunch of different.
And it's your classic stuff like chair instead of chairman, stuff like that. But the best one by far is owner instead of landlord.
Is it landowner or?
No, just owner. Landlord replaces with owner.
So if I talk about an owner, how do I know what you're talking about?
Well, but more to the point, if you are a tenant, you're going to ring up your owner.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that.
No, it's awful. It's awful. They haven't thought it through at all.
I didn't even think. I just thought that was stupid, because if I talk about owners of what? Nobody, if you talk about landlords, you know what people are talking about. Owners, it could mean anything.
Yeah. No, they've not thought this through. The slavery implications alone.
That is unbelievable.
I've forgotten the point you were making that I made that point on.
So the point was that people think there are enough houses. We don't need to build any more houses. All we need to do is just distribute them better. There are enough roads.
So but this is just the politics of envy.
Of course it is. That's what left-wing politics is.
But they really think that you don't need any more stuff? Right now, no stuff is getting made.
And they're happy. They love it.
But unlike all socialist, communist regimes, that doesn't last very long.
No, but I'm sure a lot of them think that we could last longer than we could do, and they're just thinking, bless you. And they're just thinking that we can carry on with the lockdown, or even if we end the lockdown, we can carry on with these kind of furlough schemes and paying everybody through the state. Yeah. And all we need to do is just tax the billionaires until there are no more again, and then maybe we'll free up the economy and get a few more billionaires, and we'll do the same thing again in 20 years' time.
Oh, I see. So that you think maybe they think it's a cyclical thing. It's a way of dealing with the cycle.
They're just a
windfall taxes.
Yeah. We'll take all their money away until they're the equivalent of everybody else, and then we'll perhaps let them be entrepreneurial again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously
it's all rubbish. It's all utter rubbish.
So going back to your original point, now it's more about that. It's more about taxation, I suppose.
Yeah, taxation, redistribution,
but
redistribution of wealth, not just redistribution of the means of production, which it kind of traditionally was.
So it's a move away from the collective ownership of the means of production. Well, and it's actually not even that. It's by the state. It's not even by you. The talk of everyone getting a share and all that kind of thing is nonsense. It's state ownership.
Well, they could have a share now if they wanted to. Well, how many socialists are there in Britain and America? Why don't they go together and just try it out with one company, see how that works, and then come back to us, just prove us wrong.
Yeah.
I invite them to prove us wrong and to just give it a go.
Not going to happen.
I've had 250 years or however long.
Well, absolutely. Which is why, which is why this is just repetition. It's just, but yeah. So the point you're making is there's a change. There's a change in the way that socialists now are.
Yeah. And I think part of it is probably that they've probably kind of realised that kind of companies don't work as well under socialism. It's not. It was always designed to take companies further. It's like capitalism has taken us this far. As soon as we implement socialism, we're going to skyrocket.
But then their argument there is that then that's the time for nationalisation. If the company's failing, then we need to nationalise it. I mean, think of the companies that have been nationalised even most recently, all the ones that are failing or been propped up in some way.
Yeah. I'm not saying there aren't contradictions, but they love that.
They do love a contradiction.
It appears to be kind of the millennial kind of present company accepted.
I am not a millennial. I was born in
generation,
1980.
People 40 years and younger.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
I can't wait. I love being able to call 40-year-olds millennials. It's just beautiful. Anyway, So I think certainly, and even when we were kids, it didn't seem to be quite that bad.
Yeah.
I just think I get the feeling in the last 10 or 15 years, and possibly it's because I guess I get like a reasonable amount of my news on social media, and even the newspapers and publications tend to kind of follow social media quite a bit.
Yeah.
And obviously, we've had like a 10 or 20 years of kind of idiots in universities who are kind of coming through now, and it appears to be that in the last maybe 15 or so years, it's got a lot worse. It's more about just kind of distributing money and not hard work.
I think you're probably right, and I think then that leads on to and well, I mentioned the politics of envy. That then leads on to their love of hierarchies and their love of defining people in ever bizarre overlapping groups and trying to work out who deserves more, because then once you've got all this pot of money, you then need to distribute it, and then you need to distribute it to all the groups in the most appropriate way, and then they all fight it out. And obviously the hope is that they literally fight it out. Well, I know this is the classic left eating itself, where trans goes up against gay and all that kind of stuff, and women and trans and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah. Just okay, so that's gonna help me segue onto my next bit.
Okay,
actually.
good.
So this is just something that I kind of noticed to myself reasonably recently as well.
Yep.
So if I've been noticing recently a lot more. This is another thing, and this appears to be even more recent than this. So binary thinking.
Right.
So
yep.
You're not
black or white. No shades of grey.
I'm on the absolute far left. And you're not.
Yep.
Therefore, you are far right.
Yes.
I'm pure as the driven snow, and you are the devil incarnate.
Yes.
It's just, and you see that a lot at all.
No room for a shade of grey at all.
No. There's a kind of binary thinking you see all the time, and it strikes me, and this is a bit. It made me chuckle because it was ironic. But it strikes me that some of the most binary thinking people are those who identify as non-binary. Have you noticed that? Is that just me, or is?
I haven't specifically.
When I noticed it,
that.
I remember thinking, why have I not noticed this before?
I haven't noticed that, but at the same time, it is entirely believable. I haven't gone and checked, but.
Well, so these are the people that are the most. So
most extreme in their views.
Yeah,
and in their interpretation of others.
And in the definition, the dictionary definition of bigot, where you've got your opinion and you've got no room for anybody else's.
Yes.
That's them.
Yeah.
And if you're not 100% with their agenda,
and they tend to
you're pure evil. And these, and if you talk to trans people, and lots of them just want to be the opposite sex.
Yes.
It's like I don't relate to the body that I'm in.
Yep.
I just want to be the other one.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
They're not ridiculous at all.
Yeah. This is a dysmorphia.
It's the ones who want to be gender fluid and all these.
Yeah. This morning I am. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they'll change their mind, half an hour later, and you need to check my pronouns every 10 minutes so you're not offending me. It's these people who I don't think are doing trans people any favours, if I'm completely honest.
No,
because
they're not.
They just seem ridiculous, and they're getting associated. They're calling themselves trans when they're not. They're not in the same category, I don't think, as a man who wants to be a woman or vice versa. So these people, the real kind of evangelical left, properly ideological, they're the most non-binary that there are.
Yeah,
certainly that I can think of.
Yeah, that's quite amusing. I bought some whiskey along as well, but
did you?
I did. Yeah, I thought it's tradition, albeit we've been
Tam the Voulin. I bought a labeler.
I've been labelling your.
I don't know if you can see this, but I've been labelling my Scotch, because you know what it's like.
It's so difficult. You put it in there.
A few podcasts we've had mystery Scotch, haven't we? Both of us have. And
Well,
I can't remember what it is. So.
This is double mystery Scotch, because this is my weird and wonderful.
That's the one.
Double-sided.
That's the one I bought, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But again, I
apologise for the noise if that's just slammed in front of the recorder.
So the last couple of recordings we've done have been in the middle of the day. We've popped out on our lunch, had a bit of a bike ride, sat down, done a sounding board short.
I'm not averse to breakfast Scotch. That's where you're getting at.
I was just saying I was trying to be polite. That's the reason why we haven't drunk Scotch on our last couple. Whereas it's the evening now, and so it's time. And I'd like to move us on, if that's okay. Cheers.
Sure. What would you like to move us on?
That's lovely. Yeah.
It's space side.
Nice.
It's a little bit lighter. We could have this for breakfast if we had.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. I'd like to move us on to Brexit. Do you remember that?
Innocent times.
Do you remember
innocent
that?
Times.
You say innocent times, but
oh, come on.
But it's when I do think about it, I think about the waste of the 3.5 years or whatever.
Oh yeah, but we've had that. We had that, and then when Brexit was on, we thought about innocent times being David Cameron against Ed Miliband.
I said to,
and then before that, it was like, oh, remember when Gordon Brown was in charge?
I said to my wife,
and then
I said to my wife just last night, I was like, it really comes to something when you hanker for David Cameron to be Prime Minister. And she said, I'm going to go further than you.
Gordon
Tony
Brown.
Blair. And I was like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Would you want him Prime Minister now, though?
No. We just mean that time.
It was
that time.
Other than the Iraq War.
This isn't the point I'm trying to make. It's just hating now.
Yeah,
it's hating now and hating the people in charge now.
So I guess. I mean, I dread. In all honesty, I dread to think what Gordon Brown would do under these circumstances. But I was never afraid economically under Gordon Brown, like I am now with the furlough scheme.
I was never afraid economically under any of them compared to right now. It's off the scale.
Yeah, I think Ed Miliband would have been pretty awful, and I think Jeremy Corbyn would have been catastrophic.
Yes,
but now is just It's
so
clearly unsustainable.
I don't necessarily think counterfactuals in this situation are particularly useful. Not least of which because the virus was going to just do this and do this again, kind of regardless.
Up and down for our listener.
Yes, but going back to this was Brexit I wanted to talk about, because it's still rumbling on in the background, and occasionally something pops up where. Is it Frost? Is that our chief negotiator or whatever? There's some
I can't remember
Mandarin
what he is, but
or whatever.
Yeah. We're getting trolled by
that guy. Had to fly over us right now, didn't he?
So there's a guy here.
That's not a microlight. That's
he's got like a parachute.
This is the guy with the giant fan strapped to his back.
It's a James Bond type thing.
Anyway. It's all right. He's going. So the negotiations are still on. And we are in the transition period. And we have left the EU, but we're in this transition period where it's basically like nothing's ever happened. And at the end of this year, at the end of 2020, because it took so long to pass the Withdrawal Act.
And it wasn't like a moving target.
No, they had an end date, and so it just kept getting shorter and shorter and shorter. But now,
like an IT project.
Credit where credit's due, okay? Boris, the one thing Boris is good for is Brexit. Would you agree with that? Because right now we're telling the EU to stuff it, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, there's another letter that's been published today from Frost or whatever to Michel Barnier, saying, well, no, this isn't right at all. You've given that type of deal to them, that type of deal to them, that type of deal to them. Why the hell are you offering this type of deal to us?
Well, so I had a look at some of the terms of the deal, and it's the sort of thing you would offer a country
that you just
defeated in war. It's that bad. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So, but you look at it, and they're basically gearing up for a proper showdown, a proper last minute. We're either just going to leave, no deal. Or the EU is going to cave. I think there's I think there's a strong chance the EU will cave. But to be honest, I think I'd probably still put the whole thing down to 50-50 because they're that obdurate that they will shoot themselves in the foot, won't they?
I mean, I would prefer it if the British said right now, this deal is unbelievable. We are walking away from negotiations unless you give us something that is completely, not just a little bit better than this, but completely different, that's worth our time.
Yep.
We're out.
Yeah.
And we're not going to waste it. We've got plenty of other things to get on with.
Yeah.
We're not going to waste our time.
And why would we want to be shackled in any way, shape, or form to a trading bloc that is going down the pan?
And it's how useless has it been proven to be in the last 8-10 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And nobody, even the countries that have been generally pro EU, are now realising that hang on, no, we'll control our borders, thank you. We're going to take it to the national level.
It has been nice, again, because it was the only game. That was the only game in town before Brexit. So there was always an EU leader of some kind on the TV, on the radio, in print, or whatever. But it has been refreshing that none of them have been around for the last 2 months. I remember, is it von der Leyen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember her doing this really odd video to camera in like week 1 of lockdown kind of time or something, and it was just a bit daft. But then since then, not really heard from any of them. I mean, occasionally a tweet pops up in my feed of someone taking the mick out of Guy Verhofstadt, which is just funny.
Have you seen a picture of him in his mask?
Yeah, what's he got written on it?
It's something about being prey, but it looks like he's just stuffed a nappy over his face.
yeah, it doesn't look good. But it's
very.
It even says it's got a pro-EU message on it.
Yeah, of course it has. I mean, but if you look at even some of the countries who were, and this is awful. So some of the countries who were told, for years that we're larger than any nation state. We are we're kind of one EU. We cooperate together. We share everything together. We need to have one currency for all this, which is, I mean, that was the biggest thing for me. Trying to balance Germany and Greece's economies together is ridiculous, aren't they? But they're always told this. And then when, like Spain and Italy and places, when they got in trouble early on with COVID-19.
Yes.
Hello, France, Germany. Could we have a little help, please? Have we got any masks or any ventilators?
Nope,
not at all.
Yeah. No, because we're going to need them.
Yeah.
It was every man for himself.
Even the big ones like France and Germany are starting out to be really, really protectionist.
Yes.
And
not protectionist at an EU level.
Whereas
that's what they've been seen to be. More specifically, I mean, Germany's basically lived off the southern EU countries for the last 20 years. I mean, in terms of manufacturing and having a captive market for their stuff, because they're good at what they do, and so they then basically, because of the tariff wall around the EU, they've forced all the southern countries to buy their stuff. I mean, that's kind of how it works, isn't it? Well, I say forced. By virtue of pricing.
Pricing everyone else out of the market.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and now after telling Spain and Portugal, the pigs, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece, these countries, we're in it together.
Yeah.
Hang on, no, we're not. These are ours, and everyone's shutting their borders now, and everyone's just ignoring the EU, and it's.
Yep. Yeah, you mean diverging from the rules? Who would do such a thing?
Well, I mean, what about their rules though? Have their financial accounts ever been audited?
Oh, no.
What about the no bailouts rule? It was either in the Lisbon Treaty or in Maastricht. I can't remember. Absolutely no bailouts.
And no bailouts.
Okay, yeah, we need to bail out.
Yeah. But I know you and I don't see the need for a trade agreement ever, because if you were German and I was English, which I am, then I should be able to buy from you or from your country, from your company in Germany, without anyone getting in the way, on terms that we agree. There are trade agreements happening all the time.
They're called
between
trades.
companies. Yes, well, but there are contracts.
Yeah,
contracts are signed. That's a trade agreement. There are contracts signed. People have terms for purchasing and people have terms for selling and supplying. And you come to an arrangement, you sign, but that signature is only binding for the people doing the trade. I know I'm preaching to the choir. But so that aside, if you were sent in to do this negotiation, then I think you'd be doing the kind of things that the UK government is actually doing. That they are saying all the right things. It is the only refreshing part of government right now, in my view, is the stuff doing Brexit. And considering the last 3.5 years of nonsense, it's the only tick against Boris Johnson for me.
Yeah, I
on any
think
measure.
I think it's probably the only thing that he's doing right at all. But just while keeping it at Brexit, obviously, Remainers, shall we say, not all Remainers, but Remainers have been going on about exactly what you've just been saying about the end date.
Remainists,
Whatever. Well, okay, are they? So are we Remainers now? We want to remain out, or are we
What do you mean?
technically? We're not really out yet.
Yeah,
Are we?
half in, half out. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Because I'm quite looking forward to calling myself a Remainer.
We're currently the vassal state.
Yes.
That's what we are.
But the people who voted Remain on June
Yes.
the 23rd, 2016, these people, and the people who've gone a bit balmy ever since.
Rejoiners.
Exactly, yeah. But I'm not sure yet. Yeah, rejoinists. These people have been going on about the Brexit end date, and they're saying you can't leave now. This is the worst time. It's like, but you've got coronavirus and the kind of the government's
The
reaction
response to it.
to
Yeah.
coronavirus. That's just absolutely destroying the economy, and then you've got Brexit. And hang on, which one do you want to put a stop to? You don't want to end the lockdown, which is like just wiping out and just putting us into the deepest depression that you and I will probably ever see in our lifetimes.
Well, that
You
was
just
their
want-
argument. Their argument was economic depression if you leave the EU. But they're quite happy with this economic depression.
Well, yes, and the people who were most vocal about the economy, because the Brexiteers were, even though I believe the economy, it depends on how it's implemented, but the economy could have absolutely skyrocketed if we'd have just said, you know what,
That's
we're going to
it,
be
we're
Hong
off.
Kong.
Yeah.
It would have kind of shot to the moon. But the people who Brexiteers weren't really that vocal about it. For them, it was all about sovereignty. It was all about kind of taking back control. But it was. That's why it was a great catchphrase, because it resonated with people. The people who were the most
A right-wing statement.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. The people who were the most vocal about the economy in the run-up and after Brexit until now have been Remainists, Rejoiners, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Whereas now they are stum about the economy. They're not saying a thing about it.
Yeah.
Because
Well, apart from they do keep popping up and saying we need to delay the transition period ending.
yeah, but they're not. They're saying it in such a way that they're not talking about it.
They're just saying we need more time. We need more time. We need more time.
We can't possibly deal with this now, so we need more negotiation time, and it's it's too much for the government to do all at once and all that kind of stuff.
So,
Because if they tackled it on economic grounds,
yes.
it's like, well, hang on, but you want the lockdown?
I was talking to brother number 3 earlier, just over a messaging system, and I was saying because we haven't actually we haven't caught up much in the last few weeks, and so I don't know. We chat, so we're sharing information over this all the time, and we're sharing articles and stuff that we might want to talk about. Yes, please. That we might want to talk about. Whereas I've not really been particularly sharing anything with brother number 3, and so I said to him today. I said, "Do we need some kind of shibboleth? I don't know how to ask you. What you believe in right now," and he said, "Do you mean am I a lockdown skeptic?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'll do. That'll do." Now, he's not read quite the same stuff that we have, but he's totally there now. But the terms we love talking about these terms, and we were just then arguing over
defining them.
Yeah, we do. We love a definition, and we were just then discussing whether it was rejoiner or remainist or Ramona. I've been using bedwetter as shorthand. COVID bedwetter, longer than that, to define people who are just hysterical about this. And that includes the government, it includes the so-called experts and the media and all this kind of stuff. Because generally speaking, you say bedwetter, get the reaction I got from you just then, which is a bit of a wry smile. But I want, and I've never been that keen on lockdown skeptic as a term. It's fine, But as soon as you put
Lockdown realist.
well, but it's the skeptic bit. It's like, yes, I'm skeptical, but obviously it does. It has climate skeptic and all those kind of connotations. So I wondered if you've got any better ideas for that. But one term that I wanted to put out there that I only read today for the bedwetters was flat curvers, which I think is genius. What do you think of that one?
Flat curvers, yeah, because it just sounds like flat earthers, doesn't it?
Exactly. I think that's very clever, and I've seen it trending a bit. But it only comes to my attention now, so I had a little search for it.
Yeah, I can't think of anything better than that. I mean,
flat curver.
Yeah, it's difficult because I don't particularly like the term skeptic in general.
It's a very negative term.
I'm not skeptical about climate change. I'm just skeptical of our influence on it.
Yes.
It's
the climate's been changing since there was a climate.
Well, yeah. So we've only just got out of like a mini ice age.
Yeah.
So of course we're going to get and the climate changes all the time.
Yeah.
It's never static.
Yeah.
So I'm not skeptical about that. I'm skeptical about our influence. Two, I'm
but you
skeptical about
can't
your
say that
solutions.
in 2 words. And this is the thing: is you're then giving a very reasonable, rational. Yes, but you're having to give a speech. You're having to say no. I'm skeptical on the things that they say we should do in order to do something I don't think is happening.
Yeah.
And that's climate skeptic is the term that people use because it's shorter and easier.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a climate science skeptic. Maybe 3 words.
That's not too bad. But what about lockdowns? I mean,
so are you asking for a term for us or for them?
Yes, no, because I think flat curver is genius, and I'm going to use that now wherever I possibly can. But yeah, what do we call us? Because it's not just the lockdown. I think that's the thing. I didn't think there should be a lockdown, but I also don't think there should be. I'm a furlough skeptic as well. It's any government intervention in that respect.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm a government skeptic.
Well, exactly, a state skeptic.
Yeah.
Now that sounds like you're a state-employed skeptic. I'm a skeptic that works for the state. I'm the state skeptics. Bring in the state skeptics. That doesn't work.
No, it's difficult because it isn't just a lockdown. It's everything else. I don't know. It's difficult. I'll have a think about it. I'm not going to be able to come up with one in the next.
That's fine. I just wondered
5 minutes.
if you'd seen anyone else.
But I love flat curver. That's brilliant. That's really, really good.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you have anything else?
I don't think I do.
No. Well, should we finish our scotch and get going? The sun's kind of going in now. We've probably only got 10-15 minutes.
I was going to say this is it. The sun is
left
about to drop below the horizon anyway. So thank you very much for listening to and watching Sounding Board. If you're seeing us on YouTube, we are now back. You can find us on your favourite podcast app. Please rate and review and share.
Share is the most important thing. If you're going to do anything at all, send it to one of your best mates.
Yeah, we're not after your money. Just send it to a friend.